Wednesday.
Yep.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yeah.
Kind of let people filter in here.
Yes, sir. Me and Sawyer just wrapped up an awesome podcast. That was probably my favorite one.
We did.
Yeah. Awesome.
Jeff and I were excited. We were like stoked after we did Dylan's one. We're like, man, like there's so much we should be doing.
Yeah. That was a banger. That was cool. I never talked to Jeff before, and then we were on the call for like 3 hours plus. Like that film for me, film for you guys.
Yeah, he's you did yours right before his, and then did ours for it, and it was a lot of fun. He's got so many crazy stories. Like he's forgotten more stuff with the stories. Like we're recording the road to 25 million, the first video of it, and we were like kind of laying it out to just make sure we didn't miss some stuff, and he was just forgetting like so many things that he had, like him and I had talked about, the last year or so. So yeah, we're trying to mix it back in, and just some of the funny stories and things he's done and what he's had to come across, and all the stuff with like driving to the prep centers and having to unload it, move it to another prep center, the mattress store thing, like all that stuff is really, really good.
That's wild.
Deke, have you been on a call with him yet? I haven't talked to him yet, just Discord.
Jeff, we did the I did his pod. We were talking.
Oh, he came on your Discord too, right?
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, we'll get you back on, Abe. The one that we did with you, I did it like through Zoom. And then immediately after doing the Zoom, I was like, I need to get something better. I messaged Miles, and he was like, you need StreamYard. Just don't even think about it. Just get it.
That was the trial.
Yeah, StreamYard's fire, and then if you're super rich like Sawyer, you use what is it, Riverside?
Yeah, that one works well.
Is it any different in pricing? I thought it was like the same price.
It might be. I don't even know.
No, I was just joking. I don't know.
Do you like it better?
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I would say it's pretty equal.
I think Riverside might have had like more like AI like break down your like I get like 4 if I click this, and I think you get like 10 or something.
Interesting
clips, but I think that was like one of them. But I think the clarity of the screen was good, and I think this I can do up to 6 people on screen at a time. I can't remember if it's 6 or 10 or whatever it is.
I think it's 10. We did like so much for Miles' birthday stream.
Maybe it's 10. There's like different things too, and then you can have a bunch of people on it. It's just they're not all going to be on the screen.
Yeah.
And then Zoom, you can have like 250 or something. So we've had that go on. I think.
Jeez. Yeah, most I got up to in the Discord was probably like 75 or 80 for one of those live calls.
Was that David's or was it someone else?
Yeah, David's almost touched 80, and then Tom and Thomas touched like 75.
That's fine.
I've never really done the live Discord stuff. I've been on them, like Jimmy's Corner thing what Miles was doing, like when Jimmy was doing a bunch of
Q4 stuff, right?
OA. Yeah. What's that?
The Q4 stuff, right? Like during
Q4.
Q4?
I think that's when the Abe and I started talking. Was like a couple years back when he was doing that. We got Smexy saying, "Yeah,
that's Jimmy.
That's Jimmy. What's up, Jimmy?"
That's funny. But yeah, we. Oh
my God.
I haven't done any of the Discord stuff. I don't even know how it works. If you can record stuff off it or what happens. Deke, you do it all the time. You record it.
Or are you dodging Jeff?
I do not. I don't record. I don't record them.
Yeah.
You got to show up if you want the info.
Ariel, thank you for the support.
On my IG, I am EMW said I'm watching every single one of Miles' videos. Yeah, it's a good place to start. And Dylan's, I think Deke's getting into it too. That'd be good.
Just so you guys know, the Instagram stuff doesn't appear like it comes up in the comments, so make sure you see it. Deshaun said, "Does Abe sell mostly shoes?"
Yeah, apparel and clothing and shoes, mainly that category. That's pretty much all I do.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think everybody on this call kind of at least got started doing that. Branched into some different things.
Yeah, no, I didn't come from sneakers like you guys, but I just kind of stuck with it. It's what I was most comfortable with.
So did you jump right into Amazon?
Yeah, I have no reselling background. Like I didn't do any StockX or eBay or any of the sneakers stuff.
There we go.
Kind of just jumped in.
That's cool.
he was like literally riding his bike to the stores to scan stuff. Like
So
anything that anybody said, they're like scan things,
not having your
and
license.
scan your house, scan all the stores. Like that, he literally did all that stuff, and now he's selling a ton.
Yeah, that was like a huge regret of not doing OA earlier. I was mainly just like being stubborn and not kind of taking that jump to where I probably wouldn't find anything for a couple weeks. Because like I could pull up to a store and I'd find some stuff, even though like it wasn't scalable to what OA can be. That was definitely like a huge regret of mine, just not getting into that way early.
Still a lot of money out there with RA. Like even
say,
after I was doing OA, like I would take 5 people with me to the outlets and clean like 150 pairs of store. So it would be kind of efficient in that sense. And hearing that Jeff and that other guy, Yasim, I think his name was, also doing like a large number of RA is crazy to me. Like
you can't leave out Perry and Kim too. I think it's like 13 million.
Yeah.
Now they're not doing it all themselves. They have people all over the place, but still, that's a massive number. And Jeff was doing it, before COVID happened. He had mostly his shoppers were doing RA. He was doing some of the OA stuff himself because even back then he was good at sourcing. But I think he had a bunch of people just kind of all over the country going around and hitting up the stores, like so that way everybody wasn't going to like Kohl's or something. They were going to like whatever unique store they had in their area. But when COVID happened, there was like, I got to sell stuff. I got to buy stuff online now, and I think most of them came and they stayed with them. I think a couple of them just couldn't do it, and I think now he's got one RA shopper.
Dude, it never gets saturated. Like, there's a reason why people can do 6-figure months with just outlets because like it doesn't get saturated.
It's also like it can also be like connection dependent too, where it's like if you have a guy or girl or an employee at the store just like lobbing you extra discounts, it's like. My boys in Boston, JTP Sneaks, like he was getting like the store-wide 30% with the 15% employee with the 15% sign up, and he was paying like absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's such an advantage whenever you have the managers on your side. They used to be really chill with me, and then like after me like just hammering those stores for like a year, then they're like, all right, no more 15%. And then they got to a point at the end where they wouldn't even give me the site-wide or like store-wide sale. Like it'd be 30% off the whole store. They would go and they would scan each item. I would see the price get marked down 30%. They would go on their computer and remove it off from there. I was like, oh, fuck you guys. Like that was pissing me off. There's one day where we asked the assistant manager, like whoever was out in the front, who's like the head of everything, or like, okay, can we get the 30% store-wide sale on these? And we're like, yes. And then the other manager comes out from the back after we had already pulled out 120 pairs. And he's like, nope, you can't get them. And after that, I walked out of that store with my 4 friends and just never went back. Like, after that, I was like, nope, this is over.
I never really got into the outlets because there's only one like far away from me, but I did a ton of Kohl's RA and I had like 2 managers. And I would always be on top of the like 50% off clearance in store and just cook it until they like got so pissed that I was taking all the like, and because the clearance racks sometimes have that weird ass clothing on it, and I'd only take the Nike stuff, and then they got mad.
Does your guys' Kohl's look decent? Mine looks like it's like a bus depot that got mobbed. Like every time I go in there, lights are flickering, stuff's all over the place. There's like underwear laying on the ground.
No,
ours looks all right, but it's not busy at all. Like it's like very, very dead in there. I always walk in there. I'm like, how is this place in business?
Yeah, mine's is fine. Mine looks great actually, but the Ross and Marshalls near me they look so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, the TJ Maxx and Marshalls and stuff like that they're actually good near where I'm at. But it's funny how it's store dependent with the managers, like you're saying. It's like the one, I'm a big fan of like, if you don't ask, the question's already no. So like, the answer's already no to it. So I'll go in there and I'll be like, hey, can I get a discount on this? And I was in the first TJ Maxx I went into, they're like, well, we can give you, I think whatever the employees got. It wasn't 10, it was like 6 or 8 or something. Yeah. They're like, yeah, we can get that off. I'm like, awesome. Go to the next one, and I asked the same thing. The guy just laughed at me. He was like, "No," she's like, "We're not giving you anything." I'm like, what if I buy a whole cart of stuff? He's like, "No, I'd give you even less." He's like, "We want that stuff in here so other people can buy it." And I was like, "All right." Well. They get hit with so many returns on stuff too. I bet. So it's like I get
shout out Walmart clearance.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a
All right, we had a bunch of stuff in the comments here. So Ariel got section 3. That sucks. Just have all your
Ariel,
documents.
was it from mainly like RA that you were doing, or was it all OA? What you're trying to beat for the section 3?
She said a couple minutes later, lasted about a week and started getting disbursements again. So it sounds like
look at that. All right.
There we go.
That's good. Glad Sawyer was reading. Then we got how do you sell on Amazon?
No, that's Bennett. That's Bennett. He's a Chad Scaler. He's joking.
Yeah, I was about to answer it. I couldn't even tell. Yeah.
All right.
Me and him used to see each other at the outlets all the time.
RA is so cracked. I assume that means good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means go ahead.
Why would they be getting mad about helping the store sales? Some like with people working at the big retail chains, they like don't really give a crap about the sales very much unless they're like incentivized on commission. But with these they just like see us buying shoes like, oh, that could go to a family or something like that, and then just get mad about it. But if you ever go to a mom and pop store and like offer to take all their items, or like they'll show you around the store and be like, oh, this is good, like they'll try and get you to take as much as possible.
That's low key too, because those are like locational like advantages, because they're not going to be worldwide and like or countrywide or statewide even, and you find those still. Like that's like lucrative too, because they're going to give you like future discounts.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So a point I was about to make is I was doing famous footwear RA in December, and like some were being stingy if we don't have any in the back, we don't have any in the back. And then I went to like one of the main locations where they're actually incentivized on like sales per month or whatever. And I'm like, I'll take them all. And then I got them all off the rack, and I was like, do you have any more in the back? She said, yeah. And then brought me out like everything they had in the back, and I bought everything.
That's how you do it right there.
I mean, it's funny how like just how the difference is between all the different stores with it. But I think a lot of them they don't even know that you're going to buy as much as you're going to buy. And like we talked about on the podcast with Dylan, that there's like places they'll go back to the mall and they're like, "Are you here to buy?" Like they're ready to show in the back room and just unload wherever they can. But I do so little RA, and I probably should do more. I have like 2 different outlets right near me, and I don't know if you guys know Casey that's on our Discord. Posts a bunch of stuff. He does like predominantly RA. He was talking about, I don't even know where it was. I probably should look it up because he's like 30 minutes from me, but there was some like big store that was closing that he just went and he spent a lot of money just buying out everything he possibly could from them. He said it sucks that they, loses that store, but being able to buy that much of it's going to be a good back to school for him.
I got 2 good ones in my IG. It said, do you pick FBA or FBM per item when you post it, or is in your settings? Usually when you're starting out, you should try an FBM more, but you got to make sure the product or listing is FBM friendly. So you can just go in Keepa and then go to the buy box statistics. And under each person getting the buy box, it's going to have a check next to it if it's FBA. And if there's a lot of ones without a check, that means FBM sellers are getting the buy box. And then you would want to FBM that because you can get your money quicker. And then FBA John said, have you guys ever used loans or line of credit? And I know you guys have.
So I actually haven't used any lines of credit or loans, just straight credit cards, but I'm actually looking into getting a line of credit or loan right now. So right now, from what I've kind of heard, the ones through Amazon, they're all right, but I've heard that credit unions and like local places are a lot better if you want to get like more capital at a better interest rate. So that's where I'm currently focusing on.
Yeah, credit unions in general are good to go to, especially like if you're a new LLC. It's kind of a misleading name. It's called a no doc loan, but you still have to show that you have like income from another job, which most people on this call probably do. And if you can show that you have some money coming in, they'll give you like, I think it's like $50,000. Now, again, you have to pay that money back. So like, don't go and spend $50,000 on something you have no idea what you're doing and buy like some, size 5 narrow shoe, and spend that amount of money. But look at it, and you can use that as again, it's not necessarily a line of credit. You can get lines of credits, or you can just get a loan. So if you're getting a loan, you do have to pay that full amount each time. A line of credit, you're just paying off of what you're pulling from. I haven't used a line of credit with Amazon, but I've used it in previous businesses, and it's kind of the way to go. But the key is like get it before you need it, because the bank is not going to give you money when you need it. And then if you have too much, they're not going to give it to you either. So they're going to say, well, why do you need money? You have enough. So you got to find that sweet spot.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do now.
Because I've receipts issue. Yeah, what I would do for that is like I wouldn't use a receipt. If you're talking about online, you can download the email as a PDF when you go to print, and then you can submit the email confirmation. But if it's a receipt, I think they're starting to accept that now, right? Because it has the address in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hit or miss. It really just depends. Like, I'm sure people have gotten ungated with physical store receipts and stuff like that in the past. All I know right now is that Target has just been working like so flawlessly for me. Like, I don't even look anywhere else unless it's like not on that site. So if it's on Target as well, and you're having a ton of issues with the Walmart receipt, I would just go ahead and order it on Target.
Yeah,
because they email you the invoice, right? Like upon request.
Yeah, or you could just go download it from your account.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to be accepting anything Target, which is funny because Target's so reseller unfriendly, but they'll
work right. Yeah. What's up, Romer?
Romer, what's up?
I think it's the first time I've seen Romer in here. Must be one of your guys' friends.
Yeah, he runs Miami Seller Conference.
Yeah, no, I know him. I've seen all of his content and all the book stuff.
Nice.
I've downloaded all of his apps, different things he's had, but yeah, the Miami Sellers Conference. I was going to go to 2 years. I wasn't going to do it last year, but 2 years ago I was going to, and something came up like last minute and didn't go. And then I saw the pictures coming from it. And I was like, it looked like a fun time.
So much fun. Andreas, what's up?
Jumping into the water, which videos on Romer's page.
Yeah. Andreas is the man. I met him at our Miami Seller Conference too.
Oh, nice.
All right,
Jeff, I would do Chase if you're asking about that, because like location or block.
Yeah. I've heard that Amex lines of credit, they do something weird with the interest rates where it makes you assume that it's lower than what it really is. I don't know exactly what they do, but I've heard that the interest rates are high on it.
I think there's like origination fees with some of the stuff too. It's gotta be so like anything that like when you get like best egg and like all those things in the mail, they're gonna have origination fees. So if you take like $15,000, they're gonna take out like $2,000 as like a fee, so you'll get $13,000, and then you think you're getting a decent rate, and you're just not. It's best to go to like your regular bank or like Dylan was saying, your credit union. Hit up them, talk to them, see what they can give you. Just tell them what you're doing. A lot of them, if they see money coming in, they're gonna say, "Yeah, no problem. We'll get you." There's a lot of ways to get money, and you don't have to just fill out stuff online.
What's up, Todd? How are you doing? Joni boy, what's up? Amex kind of gay. Chase is definitely the best option. Amex used to be a lot better like 2, 3, maybe even 4 years ago with like credit limits and stuff like that. But now they're not giving out the limits that they used to.
If you fly a lot, it's got benefits if you travel a bunch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of extra stuff and all the lounges and different things you can get into.
Yeah, it's still very solid for that. But man, the limits on those cards, like I know people who are 18 years old, no other credit cards, apply for Amex, run it up to 400K, like right off the bat and like not have issues with it. Now they're not letting that fly.
Yeah, mine didn't have any limit shown, and all of a sudden it started showing it, and I'm like, wait a second. It still let me go past it, which was weird. Like, it tells you, hey, it's at 50,000, and then it lets you go up to like 100. I'm like, well, why does it tell you it's at 50?
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Andre said, what settings on KPF do you guys use for find fast selling items? FBM, is that the price like difference on the Keeper product finder? You can see like what's gone up the most in the last 30 days, and those are going to be like listings that price have shot up in the last like couple days or weeks, and then you can hop on those quickly and sell at a higher price.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say we haven't done too much KPF, but I know one of the good searches, especially for FBM items, is like search average number of FBA sellers as like 3 to 10 or something like that, and then put the current FBA sellers as 0. So that'll show you all listings where there's no FBA sellers, but there has been in the past. So it kind of shows that they've sold out. There's a couple other different ones that you can do similar to that. There's good YouTube videos out there about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many settings you can do and so many little tweaks, and you can narrow it down. So like you might get results saying like there's 20,000 things, and there's just no way you're going to be able to go through 20,000 items. Even a VA, like I try not to give them more than like 500 things in a day. But if you want to go in and say, okay, I have a sales rank and needs to be below that, that's going to show that, or you go by drops, whatever you feel comfortable with. They both correlate. So, but if you have a sales rank, now you might miss some stuff that's about to hit seasonal that doesn't have a sales rank yet, or is brand new, or is about to be awesome. You're going to miss that if you just type in sales ranks on it. But for the most part, if you're just trying to get going with everything, put in a lower sales rank for whatever category you're trying to do. You could even select the category or select the brand. So if you know Adidas has like amazing sale going on or something like that, then go ahead and drop in Adidas as the brand, put that in there. And then if you want to look at something that even narrow it down more, something that is maybe not going to tank, you can look at that the the seller count is going down, and then put the prices going up. And the way you can do that is the 180 days, 90 days, 30 days is decrease on the sellers and increase on the cost. Or if you're looking for something stable, you can even do a percentage based on the pricing by putting a -20, +20 on there. There's so many ways to do it, and it's cool to watch all the videos of people that come up with stuff. Startup FBA. I don't know if you guys know Tony. He's got some awesome videos on a lot of the things that you can get in. I think it's definitely in our Discord. Deke, is he in your Discord? He should be.
I don't know. Not sure.
You should get him in there. He's so much fun to talk to. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, the best way is definitely to do it by like the 30-day drops and to see like what's going up the most in price, and that way you can just find quick FBM flips.
Yep.
Now, this time of year too, like if you reverse source somebody's site and find a good like FBM seller, you can drop up to 50 FBM sellers IDs in Keepa, and then you can set your settings to be whatever. So instead of going to your favorite, your pricing program and try to reverse source that way, you can instead drop it into Keepa, narrow it down by sales rank or whatever you want to brand, whatever you want to do, and just pull that data out, and you'll get so many good finds.
Yep, 100%. I like doing it by sales rank and then filtering above like $40 if you're doing FBA, just because of the prep center fee.
And if you guys consider selling on Walmart as well, going to start this week with a test order. Seems to be some good potential. I don't have a Walmart account. I think Joe does. Sawyer, do you?
I do. I made mine a couple years ago as soon as I saw that they do third-party sellers, like literally over 2 years ago now. I didn't sell anything on there up until like 8 months ago, and it was a buy. I was at ASD, and I was already placing an order with another supplier, and they were telling me like, hey, these are selling really well for my Walmart guys. You should check this out. And I was like, okay, bet, I'll try it out. I got 80 units and they sold through like really quick, and it was great margin too. So I'll probably be looking into some stuff in the future for that. We're buying toys. Certain things sell well on Walmart. Certain things don't. Like I've noticed that like clothing and shoes is just not the best on Walmart, but like baby products, toys, some beauty and stuff like that can do really, really well on there. Right now, we're not like
groceries. Awesome.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one. I didn't think about that.
All the grocery that I sell on Walmart's like 15% higher price than I sell at the same thing on Amazon, and it's not because like I'm just trying to be egregious with it. That's what everybody else is selling it for. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to tank the listing, so I'll pop it on there and it sells. Now none of them sell as quick as Amazon. It's just you don't have many eyeballs on it, and there's no like history like you have Keepa with it. Now I know there's some apps that are software just starting to come out. I keep getting emails on them, and I think Walmart just released like their beta of their app on your phone for the sellers app.
That's cool.
So if
didn't know that,
like that could be awesome. It could be awful. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
it's again, Amazon was the same way before. Now they kind of had when Keepa came out and Camel. They were tracking, and same thing's going to happen with Walmart. Eventually, people are going to figure out how to do it with the API that they have and make it work.
Yep.
Jansport backpacks. I believe you have to ungate Jansport.
Yeah.
I heard of some people getting some letters from Jansport eventually, but there are people who sell a tremendous amount. So I think you're probably okay.
I've sold some and I never had any like issues on it. I don't even think I had to ungate it, which is kind of weird, but I think it is gated now. Have you guys ever sold Olay items? I have, but I think they're restricted right now. Or I heard someone saying that they're restricted. So if you guys aren't ungated on that,
I can check.
Check on that, because I heard that was another brand that got closed down. And
then for back to school, like August, I guess August 1st, even the whole month of August, you could be FBM and everything for the sales, and then you can like replenish stuff because stuff will go up in price, and then you just need a coupon or like a certain gift card will make it profitable, and you can just be FBMing.
What if the BSR on an item is not good percentage, but it's a back to school item? So that's when you're going to want to use the 1 year feature on the Keepa chart. So just look at what it was during peak back to school last year. So like anywhere from late July to like mid August, that's usually what the peak is. See what the rank went to. I guarantee if it's like 80K right now, it went down to like 3,000. Like it drops a lot and it starts to sell very, very quickly. Also look at the monthly sold estimate. Some of the backpacks are selling like 200 times a month right now. That will sell 6,000 or 7,000 times.
No,
you can see it. You can look at everything.
Yeah, I was looking at the charts too. There's ranks of like 300,000-400,000 that literally come down to like 40, 50, 60. It's kind of crazy.
We
And you
bought
should be
one
doing all
that's
that research now. Like everyone
Yeah,
can be seeing that
exactly.
on Keepa and looking from a year back. And then you already know that when you see that item on sale, you realize that you looked at it on Keepa a year back and it drops significantly.
Yeah, we bought
There's a
one
lot
item.
of good sales going on right now too. Like if you're looking, there's so many like random 4th of July. I mean, there'll be sales on everything, but
Yeah.
this is the stuff that you want to be getting quick and getting it in so that you can sell it. Because once August starts hitting and your stuff's not checked in yet, you're going to be hitting the tail end of back to school.
Yeah, that's not a thing you want to do either. Whenever you have a seasonal product, it's so much better to just get rid of it rather than getting caught holding the bag and having to wait for another year to sell it.
Any good backpack companies I can auto engage in? I think Adidas might be back or was temporarily. Adidas backpacks obviously fly. I know Nike's restricted right now, but
I think Adidas is restricted too.
Auto ungate?
I'm
not sure. Wait, what do you say?
Nike popped back on for a little bit because I know somebody was talking in our Discord that they were trying to get Converse going again and they were able to get it in the small window. I don't know if it's gated again today, but
I have no idea. Oh, I checked Olay too, by the way. I'm ungated, so I have no idea.
Yeah, Sebastian, exactly. It goes from 50 a month to 600 plus easily.
Was planning on FBA my seasoning product. You have a private label, Clemenza? Is that what you're? I'm not sure what you mean there. Let's see.
What are other good brands of backpacks outside Nike, Adidas? Like we just said, Jansport I think is really good. I know Converse has backpacks too. You can look at
Carhartt.
Lululemon had a good one.
Lululemon, yeah.
There's really anything. I mean, like if you can search it on, like just look up backpacks, like literally just type in backpacks for sale on Google.
Yeah.
If it pops up in the first few pages, you can pull them up and try to sell them. Make sure they're not something that's going to be IP, but a lot of that stuff's not going to be. They want to sell that stuff.
Yeah,
and you could. There's so many off brands. Like I'm sure, like Marc Jacobs and stuff's got. Like there's just so many companies that have things.
Yeah, and you can do a lot of reverse sourcing too, just to figure out what other brands people are selling. Especially as we get closer to like late July or early August, people are going to have their stuff checked in, and you can just grab those if you can find them profitably and just FBM it.
Yeah, and you can like reverse source it now too. I mean, as we said about Keepa, go back a year ago, find the people that had the buy box on those backpacks, find their storefront, see what they're buying now, keep those storefronts for the next month, and just like source those heavily.
What do you guys do when you get the voice letters? Should I worry? No, I wouldn't worry about it at all. What I usually do is I'll usually sell through, and most of the time I won't buy again. Sometimes I will. They're not going to sue you if you're selling like even thousands of units. Like I've heard of one person getting sued, and I think they actually beat the case, but they're selling like $5 million a year worth of the brand and getting like hundreds of letters. So it kind of makes sense that they would try and fight it legally in that situation. But whenever you're like a smaller seller, they're not going to do anything to you. Main thing you need to worry about is IP complaints, but if they're doing voice letters, they probably don't even know how to do IP complaints. So they're just trying to scare you away. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Just sell through, delete the listing.
Yep.
Nick Spizak saying hi to everybody here. But yeah, on the voice letters and all the letters. I mean, first, if you're getting anything through the the seller messaging, report it and hit do not respond. Or no response needed. But like if you're getting all these other letters, people can sue you for any reason. You don't have to. They don't have to send you a letter. They don't have to. They can just sue you if they want to. So you do have to like pay attention to some of the stuff. But generally, like if they're not sending a certified letter to you and you're not getting, a bunch of other stuff with it and legal documentation, it's you don't really necessarily have to worry too much. Now, if you are altering the product or you're changing something with it, you're repackaging it into something that looks completely different or trying to confuse the customer in some way by throwing your own stuff with it, like say it's a Nike backpack and you're trying to sell your crappy socks with it, and then make it seem like that's all Nike. That's how you get in trouble with these different things with copyright and IP. Generally, if you're just reselling and you bought it from a reputable seller, you're protected under IP. That doesn't mean that people can't come after you, but there's a thing called the first sale doctrine that we're not going to get into on this call, but you can look it up and kind of see, and you can fight a lot of the stuff if you decide you want to. Now, if you have 5 items, like it's probably not worth fighting a lot of stuff. If you have 5,000 items, then probably want to talk to them.
Yep.
You can also reach out to the brands too and say, hey, I bought it through here, this thing. I never do that because I don't want them to even know that I exist. Because a lot of times you're just sending out 500 emails and or messages, and they're waiting for somebody to respond so they can say, okay, well, this person's paying attention.
Yeah.
How long does it normally take for shipments to check into Amazon? Mine are taking forever. It's probably getting busier now because back to school. I mean, I think like 2 weeks is usually the longest.
Yeah, it depends on how you ship it out as well. It's so dependent because I've had some recently that have taken 2 weeks, but they're all like LTL or it's just going to weird warehouses like way across the country.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it's going to take longer to get there. But if you do SPD, it's always going to be quicker than LTL. And then if you do a full truckload through freight.amazon.com, it's always quicker than the other two options. It's same day check-in.
Yeah, I mean, I had a random shipment go all the way to Cali, like most of the boxes, and now it's like still checking in. But
West Coast is just bad in general for a lot of things. Like my prep center sends a lot. It's just what ends up coming out. Even the optimized stuff, it all goes like a lot of it goes to West Coast, and then it gets stuck in FC transfers. Even with that, so yes, it gets checked in pretty quickly, but it's not available to be purchased until like. The average is probably 4 to 6 weeks if you're sending something from when you wave goodbye to it at UPS to when it's like able to be purchased by somebody, unless it's some crazy fast selling thing, which Amazon's going to make sure it gets wherever it needs to get to fast and get sold. But typically 4 to 6 weeks is not unheard of, and that's why it's running too much on credit cards can kill you if you're not paying attention.
That's why you FBM right now.
Yeah. Ariel, I thought it was legit. Didn't know people could scam through there. Yeah, it's pretty common. And a lot of the times, like On Cloud was one of the big brands that did it recently. That's people literally just fishing for people's suppliers. Like it's not legit at all. It's literally people looking for suppliers.
Hammering you too. Like they just keep coming.
Yeah.
Ariel, you had asked if any of us had gotten Section 3. I don't think any of us on this call have, but we all know people who have. And again, it's just keeping your documentation, keeping your cool. Don't start yelling at people. You're a professional business. You're not just Ariel, the Amazon seller. So, talk to these people and give them everything they're asking for. Make sure that it's all buttoned up, looks nice and easy for someone to read through. They have to go through thousands of these things. So they're reading through a lot of documents. Make it easy for them to just say, okay, this person's legitimate.
Yeah. And as long as you're doing everything the right way, buying from like real distributors or retailers or whatever, and you're keeping good documentation of your invoices and order confirmations, you're going to be just fine.
Navarro has a good comment. Manual sourcing. How does that look like when you guys are jumping into it?
So manual sourcing for me, usually I'm starting with like my email promotions. I like to start there a lot because it just gives me a refresher on like, okay, today these 10 websites are having this great sale or whatever. So I'll start there. A lot of my sourcing is like freestyling. So like I'll be looking on one site manually. I'll come across a listing that looks interesting to me. Then I'll search for that item on a bunch of different websites. I may not be able to find anything. I may look at a seller who's listed on there, look at his storefront, find another interesting listing, and then just kind of keep going from there. It's all about just looking at as many products as possible and then figuring out how to rule them out as quickly as possible. You need to just be able to go through a website and be like, okay, there's a 99% chance that this is not going to be good. And once you start to do that on a lot of different brands and websites, you'll have a really good idea on like, okay, I need to get this SKU for this price. And if I see it for 20% higher than that, I know it's not going to be good immediately. So once you do that more and more and like focus on one kind of niche, then you'll start to understand it and source a lot quicker.
And it's so hard to become good at manual sourcing. Like in the beginning, you have to know so many different listings and choose and like go through the sales cycles. But once you like master it or go through a certain period of time, it's kind of like how everyone does it. And then they freestyle, like Sawyer said.
Yeah, and your knowledge compounds over time too. Like after you see a bunch of sales cycles and sell a bunch of like the same brands, you're gonna know what price you need to pay for certain things. So if you see it too high, you're just gonna skip right over it, right off that site. Or if you see it close enough to the buy cost you need, and you know that or that site has like a 10 or 20%, you're gonna look further.
How do you
get to know your stores too? I was gonna say get to know your stores too. So like if you know that you're gonna buy a lot of stuff from Kohl's or JCPenney, like source a lot from there so you get to use their sales cycles to see it. You're also going to know like when things are going to be the lowest price because like one of the most common questions we get is like, okay, I see a great deal on something. How do I know that's the cheapest from all the stores or all the sales that are about to happen, especially in Q4 when you start getting into Black Friday sales and everything? And the answer is you don't. And a lot of people might be using coupons and cash back and gift cards and everything else reduce the price that you're just missing. So pay attention to all that stuff if you're at a level of buying that you can do that. And now if you're a massive buyer, you sometimes just don't have time to go buy a bunch of gift cards and do everything. But and then you might have someone else might have an advantage on you. But pay attention to the sites, learn the sites, and just keep growing.
Yeah.
How do you scale up from 40 to 50K to the 6-figure months? So it really just all depends on how much you're spending. So if you're only spending 20 to 30 grand a month, it makes sense that you're in that area. You really just need to figure out what your problem is. Is your problem not being able to find enough products, or is it not being able to spend enough on those products? And a lot of people in that range might be able to scale up to 6 figures just by buying more of the products that they're already selling. So at that stage, it's not like you have to really change a lot in your business. Like you're able to run 100 to 200K a month OA business solo mission like very easily, I would say. So it's just all about how much you spend, how much time you're spending sourcing, and just figure out what the problem is: capital or is it products?
I mean, if you can do 50K a month, you can do 100K. You're just buying.
100%. Like you got through the hard part already.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're selling over 20, 30 is probably like the plateau where people hit. And like once you get above that, it's just duplicating the process and buying the same things again and again.
More time in the game, compounding knowledge, compounding capital, like all that stuff goes.
Talk to other sellers too. Like at that level, you should definitely be networking with people, and because there's no way that at that level you can buy what you're finding. Like you turn a corner where all of a sudden you're sourcing more than you can possibly buy, and at that point, share it with your friends. You share leads with each other. You expand your categories. It's not when you do a lot of the stuff where you're buying some of the same listings. It's not like price fixing, but you are protecting it from tanking a little bit more because all the repricers are going to see you all around a similar price and not go and drop it any further. But you can't go and say, okay, everybody sell it at $39.99. Like don't start doing that stuff. You'll get flagged from somebody. Deshaun asked, what's the average cost of FBM shoes? I'm assuming you mean
8 to 12
send
bucks.
it. Yeah,
8 to 12 the label.
With ground advantage, you might get like some $7, but with box costs, just go like 8 to 12 is probably safe.
Yeah, I think I have like 850 is like my normal, and then sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but
it depends. If you have like some bulky Jordans like that, it's gonna be closer to like $12 because it weighs more.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Williams said, "What's the best tool to determine?"
You're gonna get returned anyway, so don't worry about
it.
Yeah. Keepa actually added like the sales per month and Amazon too. So like when you see like a size has 50 plus bought in the last month, like that's a really good sign.
Yep.
Sometimes that's like seller amp is way off though. You just want to look at offer count movement too.
Yeah, offer count movement, and then Keepa offers I like to look at as well. A lot of the times the stock counts are going to be like way off, like very inaccurate, but sometimes you'll be able to find someone who are like you can very clearly see in August they stocked up with 300 units and they consistently sold through all 300 within 20 days. So it's like, okay, that gives me a pretty decent picture on how many I can buy. And then Clemens asks, so it's best to reverse source when starting out? Definitely. It's the best way to figure out like a new niche, new product, or if you're brand new to Amazon, just figure out how to source profitable stuff in the first place. Anytime I'm looking to do like a new category, a new niche, try out something new, always start with reverse sourcing with people who I've like seen on those listings. So it's a really easy way to like kind of familiarize yourself with like certain
that and leads lists can be helpful in there. It's not saying necessarily buy the leads that's posted on the list, because unless you trust the person that they literally only have 35 people they're sending it out to, and those people aren't all virtual assistants that are sending it out to all the people that they send things to. Go down the rabbit trails with stuff and like look at it, be like, oh yeah, I haven't looked at automotive before. I haven't looked at these different categories. Look at those things. Start going to those sites. You'd be like, what is this? What is Ulta? So go search Ulta. Go look at those things. What other people are finding. So that's a good way to find a lot of new stuff where you're not necessarily sitting there reverse sourcing off of somebody who bought those products, a month or so ago, and now you missed the sale. On a leads list, at least the sale's going on, and you can get exposed to new stores and new things. And I think at one point most of us have used some sort of leads list at different points. I don't know if
I still use them. Like I still buy like maybe 1 or 2 per quarter just to like keep me in the loop of certain retailers, or maybe it's a brand new like code that you can stack or whatever. Like I like that for that reason, just because it's like it doesn't matter how many people you talk to. Like I talk to a lot of like Amazon sellers on like a weekly and monthly basis. Some of those lead lists have stuff that I've never seen before, and it pays itself back.
100%. All you really need is one good product and it'll pay itself over like 10x.
Yeah, imagine one good retailer. Like that could be an extra like 10, 20K.
100%. When does heavy back to school volume start? I would just say August, like the beginning of August, the whole month.
Yeah, the peak is that 10-day window. First 10 days of August.
Yeah, first 10 days of August is crazy.
That's when it's selling like crazy. Is August 11th, and then it drops off a little bit, and then it picks back up again too, because you have high schools, you have different regions, you have college kids, so it all depends. Like if you sell slides or backpacks, they're selling for 2 months, 3 months. But if you're selling like some random Crayola products and stuff like that, they're going to get picked up when elementary schools are going back to school there. But basically, if you see stuff in your store, which is like now, like go buy it and start trying to sell it, because there's a reason that like a Walmart and a Target and all these other places have it there, is because they sell them. So start selling them too.
Yep.
Yeah, those first 10 days are crazy. Like I did 60K in that July, like for the entire month, and then I did 60K in the first 10 days in August.
Yeah.
It's crazy. How much more volume do you guys expect as my first back to school? So some of you just have to look at the Keepas and see some of the stuff may literally sell like 50 times a month now, and it will sell thousands of times then. So some items are going to be 50 times more sales velocity in that like 30-day window or whatever, but you just need to look at the data and check it out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the only real way to learn that is to FBM and to look at the data now. Like FBM, like if it's your first back to school, you have to be FBM. I mean, it's like at least
it's also like if you're selling like $10,000 a month, like you're going to sell more, but you're not going to sell 30,000 or something. Like you might sell like 12, 15 or something. If you don't have a lot of product that you're buying and sending in, like you're not going to have a giant influx of sales with it. But the Q4 you start to get a little bit more of that. But back to school, it's like you're going to sell more, but don't expect to like double, triple your amounts if you're a smaller seller.
You can.
I
did.
You could. Certain items. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like you have to have those items available. So like if you haven't bought a lot to send in, you can't sell a lot. So like you need to have a ton of stuff that you're sending into there.
Yeah.
I think reverse sourcing is the hardest by far. Any advice to make it successful? Yeah, so I'm guessing you're able to find those products, but not at profitable prices. So some of the things that we use to bring down our buy costs are like one, using coupon extensions that not a lot of people use. So like Coupon Birds, Qpert, those are two. And then Capital One Shopping is really solid as well. They've always
Be Frugal is underrated too.
Be Frugal, that's
some good ones.
Yeah, I don't even use that, but I'm sure it's a good one. I've tried it in the past before. And then discounted gift cards, that's another great way. Some of the sites on like Top Cash Back are literally like 12% off. So that's a way that people can literally get their items for 12% cheaper than you. And you might not even know that. Like you might be thinking, oh, everyone's buying at the same price on the sale, when in reality, they could be getting it 20% cheaper pretty easily. So it's all about just finding different ways to get the cheapest buy cost as possible.
Yeah, you can also order online and pick up in store, and sometimes save like 5% on some places. So like if you're willing to do those extra things, you're going to be able to, A, make more money, or B, sell at a lower price and sell out before everybody else is starting to tank the listing.
Yeah, and I think Hibbett has like every Wednesday, it's like buy and pick up in store for like 25% off or something like that.
You guys buy from Hibbett still?
Sometimes.
Whenever I moved into my warehouse, I was ripping it hard, and then I got banned again, and I was like, okay, never doing it again.
I've known some people have trouble with like the receipts and Amazon not accepting them as authentic, and then Hibbett, and then Hibbett will someone will send an email and say, hey, they won't say they're a reseller or anything. It'll say like, hey, I just want to make sure that you're authorized to sell this product. And then they'll send them an email back. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll send an email that says that. And then the next email they get is, we've identified you as a reseller.
No, I've never had it. I've been like inauthentics and stuff with Hibbett order confirmations. And stuff.
I probably have too. But I don't know. It could be different now. I probably did that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like any email confirmation that's from like a big website is completely fine.
They didn't like it. And again, now this person didn't respond in the most professional manner, and that didn't help things. So let's see what else we got here. I literally just started this week.
That's all. You're already asking some good questions.
Yeah,
that's my first back to school.
Just don't analyze stuff too much. Like start buying and start sending stuff in. Like and don't buy 1,000 of something. Like even if it looks really good, buy a few, send it in, see what you're doing. Unless you're getting like your best friend is selling a ton of stuff and they're saying, hey, you need to buy 1,000 of these things that sells a lot, then just be careful.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just FBM everything if you have time. Like, really, just get in there and just sell.
Yeah. And Clemens is in my free Discord too. Like, make sure you're networking. Like, there's hundreds of people in there. Like,
oh yeah. So if you're already in the Discord, you're a step above everybody because you now have a lot of information that you can avoid a lot of the pitfalls that new sellers fall into. Any pro tips for Hibbett? There's so many sales on Hibbett. If you do buy on Hibbett, it's like nonstop with the amount of sales you can get, and stuff's generally less expensive than a lot of other stores. And then most of the big sellers are already banned from there, so you're not going to be competing against large sellers.
100%.
Yeah, one tip that I was using a while ago, back before I got banned at my warehouse, to avoid cancels, don't do a bunch of orders in a row. We were doing one order in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then one at night, and we were getting all of our orders through, like no problems at all. Look heavily for the clearance stuff. Hibbett just has stuff on clearance for like so ridiculously cheap. Like they're just losing a lot of money on it. So it's like, okay, I'll take that all day.
Yeah. And I've never gone above 10 units per order either.
Yeah.
Everyone's use Hibbett for price matching purposes at Dick's. Facts until they don't accept the 25% off.
You want to use the email too, so then you get the additional amount and then show that to them, and then you can price match off of that.
He said, "Don't leak, but post it in the public chat."
Wait, how many viewers does it say we have in here?
251.
Okay, I heard that it's like inflated when you.
I was about to say we got half Twitter bots in here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's inflated. You guys think it's inflated? Go to your Twitter.
Miles was telling me that Twitter has a lot of bots on it now, and his viewership like went way up over the last couple months, and it's like not getting more like comments or questions. So
yeah, it says Sawyer has 153 right now, and I have 70.
I find FBM very hard due to the cost of shipping. Since free shipping is expected, I'm also probably at a disadvantage being in Pacific Northwest. But how do you work in the shipping cost? Well, in SellerAmp, like on your extension, you can toggle off FBA and make it FBM. And then like when you're doing stuff under £1, you can like do the different prices. And I don't know. I'm assuming you're doing apparel.
Yeah. Pro tip on some of the stuff, like if you can ship it in a bag and it's not going to get like crushed and stuff, ship it in a bag. Don't put it in a box because you can keep it smaller. And then if you guys are buying or getting the shipping boxes, the free ones from UPS, the security boxes, like if it's close on the weight, cut the tabs off the second tab of it and save that like extra ounce or like whatever it ends up being. You'll be surprised at like what you can get now in the box. It'll be under £1 at that point and save a bunch of money.
Yeah, anything under £1 makes a lot of sense. FBM, like it's cheaper than most FBA fees for like the pick and pack.
Especially if it's something that's going to be like someone's going to buy 10 of or something, like, because then now all of a sudden you can send it all together and it like might cost you $6 or $5.80 to send one, and it costs like $6.50 to send 8.
Yeah, exactly.
I do a lot of that stuff with it takes too much time for me now. I'm going to stop doing as much FBM, but like it's hard to walk away from it when all of a sudden you're like, wow, I just made $40 because somebody bought 6 of something.
Yeah.
Are you flexing the shirt there, Adik, or are you
a little bit?
Yeah.
He's like,
dude, I'm about to do my first shipment. I bought the annual. I'm about to try it.
What'd you say?
I'm about to try it out. I got the annual like on the drop. So
I got it too. My prep center's trying it out today, I think.
It had a great deal with it. I mean, like basically, if you weren't in the roadmap already, it was the same price as the roadmap to get it like a year.
That
so
was
like
that was crazy. That's a crazy deal.
Yeah, that's like when you go to Home Depot and they're like, "Hey, do you want 20% off?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, get this card." I'm like, "I already have that card." And they're like, "Oh, well, we can't give you 20% off." It was like, I was like, "Man." I know they're still working on a lot of things, but it'll be interesting to see what it does as it continues to grow. And again, they're not going to let it be bad, so it's going to be cool to see what can happen with it.
Yeah, it's 100%. Backed by some great guys. It's not going to be bad.
Yeah.
No, it can't be. I mean, it's just not. He's not going to put his name on something and his face that's everywhere. That's something that's not good.
They've been working on it for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you have to. It's like putting anything is tough, and even like the beta groups. Like I don't know, were all you guys in the beta? or the pilot or whatever it was.
I wasn't using it, but he was showing me demos of it.
We got the demo
5 months ago.
Yeah.
Any extra sauce for back to school? Look at the Crayola stuff, look at the backpack stuff, and just like be on top of your Keepa, like for your stuff you're selling. Like source more and like look at the data from a year back. Every time you find a profitable lead or something that's very close to being profitable, just click on the year data and look it back. Get in the habit of looking at what the prices were in velocity in August. And
stick to basic items too, like white shoes, black shoes, gray pants, like black pants, like all that stuff's gonna sell great. Hoodies, long sleeve shirts, all those things go nuts. And really, if you're looking at any of the items that like are actual like for back to school, look up like Google like what products are needed for first grade, second grade, third grade, like whatever. It'll give you a whole list of like this region requires you to have this, and then buy those trapper keepers, buy those folders, buy those pencil cases,
calculators.
The calculator inflation has gone nuts. It's like still the same calculator, and why like I have it on more advanced thing on my phone. You're still paying $90 for the TI
84
so yeah, I mean, sell all that stuff. It's look up everything, but clothes are going to sell like crazy. So definitely do that. Even things for your car, like random car air fresheners and nonsense.
For FBA, what is a top weight limit threshold per item do you usually limit? We don't have a limit for that. It just all depends on the data. We have stuff that's like 40 pounds right now. So
There is stuff that goes oversized, and then there's certain things that if you're shipping it to Amazon through UPS might have restrictions on per item what something can be. And I think it's like 200 pounds or something. Like it's a big number, 150. Oh yeah.
And then have dimensions too.
So pay attention to all that stuff. But like if you go and ship it, if you palletize it and ship it less than load and all those things, then you're only going on what Amazon's restrictions are. But I mean, people are selling huge items there, like fully assembled like tables and stuff. So like you can sell it. It's costs money to ship it and everything else. Deshaun's asking, I find it hard to buy a lot, even when he catches the sales. He doesn't really go deep on certain shoes and etc. What are ways to be able to get more items?
Well, it sounds like he was just not going deep by choice. Is he running into like order cancels? Is he running into like quantity issues?
Well, his follow-up question is, how are you all finding 1,000+ products a month? That's what I can't understand. Again, it's like, for me, I'm buying a lot of the same stuff that I bought last year and the year before and everything else. Like, so I'll go to that list first. I have my Keepa will flag me. It's like a personal assistant. So anytime I'm buying something, I'm flagging the Keepa to say, if the price is hitting this amount, then that's a good buy. So it's telling me, hey, go buy this because the price recovered or it's recovering. So then I know that a month in advance to start buying that same thing again. And then I do the opposite if I'm doing an Amazon flips, is if the price is dropping down, then I know when it hits a certain point, go and buy that so then I can go sell it back on Amazon. I mean, that's the main thing, is just being in it and buying stuff, being in the groups like, all of us are in, telling each other, hey, here's a lead, here's what's going on here. Go and get that stuff. And I bet you that a lot of the guys on here, myself included, don't have thousands of ASINs. Like, we're buying a lot of products, but I think probably most of us are under 100.
I am right now. The longer I've been doing this for, the more and more I want to have less and less ASINs. Because like in 2022, when I was doing a lot of like shoes and stuff like that, I had literally 600 ASINs in December.
That's what I have now.
And in December, the year after that, when I got out of mainly shoes, I had 100 ASINs and I did more revenue and more profit. So you don't have to have a crazy amount of SKUs. You just go deep on the stuff that you know is going to work.
I have 535 active right now.
How do you access more capital and build cash flow for consistent spending? Well, you got to use credit cards, and then we talked about loans or line of credit when you're more established. If you don't want to go with the bank, call up your rich uncle, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, with the credit cards too, it's like you want to be able to pay it off. You don't want to hit any. If you hit it late, it's going to take forever to get it back up. You're going to get a ding, whether you see it or not. It's going to be a ding for at least 6 months to come back through. 20
20 ASINs this December, Dylan?
No, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Probably 80 to 120 in the same range.
Yeah.
20. How to get established in FBA groups? Join Miles and Warner's Discord right now. Join Deek's Discord. Dylan, is yours free or is it paid?
No, it's paid. But
okay, well, either join that too, and you have the money, and join Joe's too, and then you're in 4 different Discords and talk every day, and then find friends. I mean, I think it's that simple.
Yeah, I think Abe was talking to a bunch of people from day one. I mean, I know I was talking to him when he was just going and stopping at places RA while he was, done class, and I mean, you're still in high school. It's like you figured it's not incredibly difficult to do, but again, if you want to build up your credit and be able to buy more stuff, like you need to pay it off in large chunks. If you're paying off like $300, $300, you're going to look suspicious, and they're not going to raise your credit. But if you spend $3,000 to pay off your card and then drop another $1,000, and pay it off like once a week, ahead of when it's due, you're going to get more and more buying power.
Yeah, I mean, just be active in all those Discords. Make an Instagram right now or Twitter and follow. Go to one of our accounts and follow every FBA seller that we follow. And your entire content is literally just going to be FBA people. You're going to find more people that are like you and your personality, and then you start finding friends. I mean,
and put your face up on the profile. That's like Miles told me to do that from day one, and I didn't understand it until I did it, and I was like, well, that was stupid. Like, should have done that.
And the intro video.
I think Jimmy made himself a woman on Twitter and got a bunch of leads too. So apparently, if you're a woman,
I feel like there's a couple people who did that.
Yeah. The only exception is BizTank. That is the only exception allowed.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Best Discord server ever. Which one's
Jimmy.
FBA AIO?
That's mine, but we just did the rebrand to United FBA. Too many people didn't know what AIO was, but that's like a sneaker term, all in one.
Yeah.
But hey, Jimmy, stop leaking the ASINs right here.
Kanye.
Yeah. We could boot them.
There we go. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, someone asked me, do you guys do wholesale? I know Dylan mentioned it. He's on another video. I do. Yes, I do wholesale right now. We're mainly buying from distributors, but now that arbitrage is like back and it's like really pumping, like after Memorial Day, I've definitely been more focused on OA just because I've done it for years. I have great data on ASINs that perform well for me in the past. So it's really a no-brainer for me to just load up on those again. Another thing with arbitrage too, I've noticed it's just higher margin in general. Like I'm able to make more of especially with cashback, credit card points. Like there's a lot of little extra bonuses that you get with doing arbitrage that I like.
Dude, and I feel like all the people that talk about the problems with OA, the more you do it, the smaller those problems get. Order cancels, maybe you run into those, but all the headaches that come with it, I feel like they get smaller and smaller the more you do it because you condense your catalog and you only source a handful of sites.
Yeah, I mean, wholesale doesn't necessarily mean cheaper either. You can buy larger quantities in general, but it doesn't mean you're getting it at a lower cost. Walmart can sell a product to you at a price that they're making money on cheaper than you can buy it wholesale. The buying power is massive. So if you're buying a couple pallets of it means nothing to them.
Exactly.
They're buying thousands and tens of thousands of pallets monthly from them. So you're just not going to command that buying power. That being said, smaller wholesalers, smaller companies, smaller distributors, you can certainly do really well with, but you got to find them and you got to build relationships. Wholesale is canceled orders too, not unique to OA. Yeah, I mean that can happen.
Yeah.
Other than Keepa, what software do you guys use? Cellaram, Keepa are the two ones you need, and then I'm sure you guys use some other ones, but just the cashback websites.
Yeah, I use AZ Insight for sourcing. I like it the most because it shows out of stock variations really easily.
Yeah.
Does it show more than what RevSeller shows?
It's the same.
Or have you tested? Oh, okay.
But the AZ Insight does have the AZ alert that comes with it. So if you don't, I mean, it's still some an IP alert, but it'll actually tell you hey, someone actually got an IP complaint on the 5th of December of 2019 from this company or whatever. So you kind of look at it and be like, all right, well, if nobody's gotten anything yet from it, maybe I can go and sell this, and a lot of times you can.
like
and it's
that.
updated pretty regularly.
Inflamed.
Amazon have a 3 to 5 limit of deals. Are you talking about 8A flips? Is that what you're?
I think so. He previously said I can get 8% off on anything on Amazon.
Oh, 8% off at. I'm not sure what that means. You should be able to get a lot more than 8%. If you're buying at a low point and then reselling it. Amazon and eBay flips. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have the Chase 5% card, Joe?
I don't.
No, I need to get it. I need to get it bad. It's 5%.
There's not a reason why I don't have it either. Like I probably should get it. I don't like. And again, I probably should have a separate wallet for all the OA stuff. But I don't. I just don't want to carry around as many cards. And
yeah, I want to get it. 5% is hard to beat.
Greedy V. Yeah, I mean I make money on 8A flips. I hadn't done it a lot until I don't know if you guys know Jeff, the Amazon Jeff, that sometimes on our calls he kind of got me back into it, and then Soul who did stuff, and he did the 8A flips thing on Chris Grant's channel. That kind of sparked it back into me to look for them, and you make money on them. You lose just like anybody else, or you can buy something that just never gets out of stock from Amazon, restocks it, and all of a sudden you're waiting for 10,000 units to sell through again. So you certainly run risks of anything else, but yeah, you can make a lot of money. It's typically slower sellers, but you can make a lot of money doing it.
Is 8A flips a good place to start? I would say no. I would say just go reverse source.
Man, yeah. I would almost say that if you don't have a lot of capital, like 8A flips is great because the margins are higher. You know that you can get ungated in it. You're not going to get the IP complaints as nearly as easy especially if you're buying straight from Amazon. The data's all there. The listing's set up at least decently, and Amazon's not going to argue with themselves and say like, hey, you sold, like, we sold you a non-authentic product. So to me, I would say that if I didn't have them, like when I started, I already did well at a previous job. I had a bunch of capital. It wasn't a concern to go slow starting. But if you don't have that ability, then I think 8A flips are awesome.
Yeah, I saw Jimmy said there's no order limits on Amazon Business Portal. Are you just talking about like normal Amazon Business? Because we've had stuff where the order limit was like 27 or something, and they would not let me buy more no matter what I did. Like, try to do extra orders, they just cancel it all every time. So if you know a way to completely get around that, that's the way to do it right there. And then also I saw some people were flaming Todd for what you're saying about wholesale orders. He's pretty new. He went to ASD, and I know like with the situation, and it was a supplier that he hadn't worked with before. He just placed his like first couple POs, but they sold it already, and there's just like a miscommunication in the company or whatever, and they already sold it to a bigger buyer, so then they just canceled his and gave it to the other buyer. So I mean, it's definitely possible. It's mainly just stock issues though.
Yeah, and that 5% card I was talking about, just look up like the Chase Visa Prime or whatever. It'll come up. It's 5% back on all Amazon purchases.
That's crazy.
Like that is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
I don't know what the limits are. I don't have it yet, but I at least know it's around.
You can request a quote on Amazon Biz. Jimmy's dropping some game. What about listings with Amazon having the buy box? Yeah, we're totally cool with that. It depends on how much they're giving it to other sellers, and it depends on like what the other sellers are offered at. There's a lot of Amazon listings where like people see, oh, Amazon has 100% of the buy box, and it's because the other sellers on there are FBM and their price way higher than Amazon is. So it makes sense that they're not going to be getting any buy box share. But if you see that there's another FBA seller on it and they're competitively priced, there's definitely a high chance that they're getting a decent buy box share.
Yeah, keep a buy box statistics. And then even just hovering over the graph. Like
you also don't need the buy box to sell.
Yeah, that's true as well.
You also don't need to get the buy box to sell. So like, and even if it says 100%, it's very rare that it's actually 100%. I don't expect to command it and have it for a long time. Sell, like, don't buy 10,000 units and expect that you're going to sell through it. But if you buy a few of them, test them out just like anything else, and send them in and try to see if it'll sell. A lot of times it will. You got regional buy boxes, everything else. Amazon also, they want to make money, and if they're pricing something really inexpensive, they're going to make whatever or lose money on, say, a few bucks. Now, if you have something that's a higher price, they make more money off your fees than they do off of selling their product. So they'll give you the buy box because they want to they want to, get those margins. So if they are giving the buy box to other sellers that are at a higher price, then they're going to get the margins that they ultimately need, off the aggregate of everything. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Is ASD happening in August? Yes, it's August 4th through 7th. I'm going to be there. Deke's probably going to be there. I don't know about Abe and Joe, but
I should be.
It's definitely worth going to.
I'm going to be too busy this August, but yeah. And another thing with 8A flips, just make sure you're not using a Prime account doing it. Set up a non-Prime account. Otherwise, you're breaking terms of service. If you go to our Discord, we have all sorts of videos and different things on it, our YouTube channel as well.
Might have to pull up if I'm going. Dude, you gotta go. You just do it like how you did last time. Book the flight a day before, fly in at 3 a.m. or whatever.
Sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
We get everybody's questions here. We've been on for an hour and 6. I'm not sure if we got more questions, we can keep answering some of them.
Book the flight like 3.
That's
on Miles floor.
Is it in Vegas? No, I think it's in.
No, it's in Vegas.
It's in Vegas.
Twice a year.
Yeah, they're not going to move it.
Then to ASD, you don't even have to have any money if you want to go. I think it's just like a huge networking opportunity.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, go for networking. So basically, whoever gets the buy box means they have a better price.
No,
sometimes if they have a quicker fulfillment speed, like they might get buy box at a higher price too.
Yeah, it depends on a lot of things like review count, stock, how long it's been since it's been checked in. Like if it's fully checked in, it's spread out across all the warehouses. You can have quick delivery times, so it'll be good. If you're FBA versus FBM, there's a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah, you don't have to go to these events for like wholesale either. Like I do know wholesale. I'll probably go to ASD. I do know wholesale. I'm going to Amazon United, but it's for the networking.
Yeah. You meet hundreds of people there, not like a couple. You're literally hundreds of people.
Amazon United had 700 people at their first event.
Yeah. It's also good to hear how other people are pitching themselves. So like if you do want to go into wholesale eventually and you don't need it right now, like if you go there and you hear how people are talking to wholesalers, how they're having discussions, how much they're spending when they first go, you get an idea for like, all right, I'm going to need to have like $30,000 saved up so I can make a dent here. I think I heard rumors of Dylan spending a bunch of money the first day, and
every time.
And that's the thing too, is like day one, a lot of them have huge deals, and then it trickles down, throughout it. But you can do a lot of the, you don't like ASD or any of these other ones. You don't have to necessarily go to the places. You can sign up for the event. I don't know if ASD lets you do it, but you can sign up for the event. Not go. They'll send you the list of all the vendors that were there, and then you can just contact them, as you want to later. But
I think you could do that without even signing up. Like you can just go on the ASD website.
Oh yeah. There's a website that everybody posted. I think Corey Gannum posted every once in a while, and I think he gave his like notes on it last time. Like here's what I found when I went there, type thing. Which you should do, Dylan, this time.
Yeah.
Guys experience paying Procter & Gamble employee a side commission for letting massive orders of Zevo or Old Spice go through.
I've not. That sounds like some interesting Jimmy activities.
Sounds like something only Jimmy would do, bro.
Trying to get a few of these people. So, I mean, reality Jimmy, like, anybody's gonna, they're all human. Everyone wants to make some money. It's just like, I came from like the contracting world, and there's a lot of kickbacks that happen. There's a lot of things of taking people out on boats and all these different things that allow people to want to sell you things or want to give you jobs or like whatever it is. So I mean, I'm sure there's somebody. Procter & Gamble's a massive company. There's somebody in there that wants some extra money, and if you can figure out how to get it, they're gonna buy from you. Now they also are gonna suspect you of being a narc for them, and try to say that you're selling. So you gotta figure out how to bridge that gap. But LinkedIn's probably a good place to find them.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, we all have. FBM. Do you guys see the Chad method of scaling? Greedy BS.
Network purchases. Did we miss any of these? Whatever. Where ASD go? Oh, okay, we got that one. You guys do Chad method of scaling.
Yes.
I don't think Smexy does. I think we all have. I don't know if Smexy does though. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. What else we got here? Deke, did you join the live video on YouTube?
On my phone.
This dude named Sadiq Wahab asked
see, there's the fake viewers.
Yeah, Sadiq Wahab on my IG live said, "How do I start?" I think you're gonna want to go to Seller Central, sign up. It's probably a good place.
Am I missing? Where are these on your feed? Is that where you're seeing these questions?
You can join my IG live.
I joined his live and typed that.
Sells supplement products. Don't have a trademark yet. Yeah.
This dude Jimmy always got something up his sleeve, bro.
Yeah.
Always.
Jimmy, do you just want to join the?
Yeah, send him the link.
Colin Broom got bro. We were at Garrett's wedding at the hotel, and he was showing me something like insane, bro. Like this kid's kind of crazy.
There were so many of those things going back. I remember like all this, and some people found links to be able to buy a bunch of them. I remember people like walking around with like pallets of the Colin Broom stuff because they had all their whole family lived in like their neighborhood. They just sent it to all of them. Email hacking too. I bet you can do pretty good. Someone's just asking about that in our Discord.
Jimmy's a comedian tonight on here.
All right. Anything else you guys want us talking about or asking questions or just anything?
This is a good live.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was fun so far.
Yeah.
We're getting more and more people. It must be 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, Sawyer, put a lesson in there.
Drop any last questions below, guys. Anything?
Yeah, I think we're going to start trickling out of here soon if we don't see some stuff popping up. We'll do a few more of these, I'm sure, coming up. If you guys are having fun, make sure you, like, if you haven't followed all the people that are on here, follow them, join their Discords. Except for Abe, he doesn't have a Discord yet.
Soon. I'm just going to copy Deke. Everything Deke did, I'm just going to copy it.
Copy all the channels.
I'm going to.
Probably a good idea.
It's been
and then
done.
I'm going to get more members.
That's not going to happen.
I've seen some other Discords that are the exact same layout of Deke's.
Yeah.
So just, if you just copy and paste it,
they copy the layout, but they can't copy the sauce, bro.
No, they're all. It's all just good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I think you go live almost as much as Miles does, which is impressive.
I'm trying, bro. Like I have nothing better to do. We're in the middle of summer. Like
I have lots of better things to do.
Oh yeah. sauce the Discord links.
The IG, yeah, that's Sadiq Wahab. That's
yeah, we probably should do. I don't even know how to do that.
I don't know. I have mine. Hold on.
Hey, just go to our. It's all on my website. Probably won't put this as a link. Go there for mine if it lets you. Oop.
Can't comment in some destinations. All right, whatever. If you can't click on it or you can't find it or whatever, just go to our profiles. It'll be there.
You don't have a website yet to make it easy, Deke?
No.
It's like $7.
That for?
I just got the WAP link.
No, the ConvertKit page is doing numbers.
I'm not against that, but like some people were like, oh, then I got to sign up for Gumroad. I got to sign up for WAP. And I'm like, how are you not in all these other things already?
Yeah.
They just got their email and their name, and that's all I want anyway.
Well, that's why we also have a Facebook group.
Yeah. I don't know how to work Facebook at all.
Over 9,000 listings of slow movers.
What?
That
He's
Jeez.
drop shipping from Amazon to eBay. That's what it means.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Nike's not letting anyone engage. I believe Adidas and Converse are locked down too. But there's other good brands like Puma's good, Allen's good, Hoka's good. Like there's so many big brands. You're gonna
New
be just fine.
Balance.
I was about to say, yeah, New Balance. I think the Scott Needham Smart Scout estimated sales per month. Adidas is like 62 million a month. Nike's like 60, and then New Balance right below it, 48.
Really?
48 million
What?
a month is New Balance. It's on
Yeah.
Scott Needham's Instagram for Smart Scout.
That's crazy.
That's sauce too. There's a lot of websites with New
New
Balance.
Balance is good.
Yeah.
It's huge.
They get grass stained real fast, and you got to buy new ones.
They got the bootlegged Monarchs. Those two good.
I don't.
Yeah,
know what that means.
Clemenza, you want to go to Keepa, and then you can go to Product Finder, and then actually in the Product Finder, you can do like the brand New Balance, and you can put in other metrics. There's like a ton of different YouTube videos on how to like put in the different metrics, and then just for the brand, you put New Balance.
Just check Nike and Converse and stuff daily if you're not ungated. They do open up sometimes and let people in. It'll eventually happen, but again, you got to make sure you have all the right stuff. They're being very meticulous on approving people, so it can't be some shady website you're trying to send in.
Yeah,
and I don't think Nike.com is going to work anymore for that either.
Yeah, I've heard soccer is a good option.
Soccer's the best, I think.
ASOS is good too.
Yeah,
that's true.
And then once it goes live, like get on it as soon as possible because I'm pretty sure as soon as you have a case open, you could just keep resubmitting within that.
Yeah. Media items mostly. That's what you're selling. Yeah, that's why. Mostly CDs are going to be tough. Who raise your hand if you bought a CD in the last 5 years?
Ask us if we bought a CD ever. Like literally.
Ask Gabe if he knows what a CD is.
Yeah, the only time I ever had CDs was like for video games. Like,
oh yeah.
Everything was on a CD.
Oh, in that case, then yes, I bought two.
Not in the past
5 years. Yeah.
Well, but you weren't doing digital 5 years. Ever since like 6 or 7 years ago, I realized I was like, digital's the only way to do it from now on.
No, I've definitely done it like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. What is a CD?
Compact disc. Vinyl does. Now you're really confused, everybody. Vinyl does sell, but again, it's like buy something that sells faster. Put your money in that rather than hold on to these things for long periods. Unless you're like they were saying, drop shipping.
Yeah, it's just eBay drop shipping. I think he's talking about. Yeah,
but if you're
shoes have a lot of returns.
Yeah,
if you want to make some money, do some OA and start buying some more and selling some more.
Yeah, the shoes have a lot of returns. I mean, Deeker and I talk about this. Just like, yeah, it has 15%, 12% return rate, but
it's like
barely anything's coming back unfulfillable. I wouldn't really worry about it. Just go over 35% ROI and try and do over $15 profit.
You just got to make sure that you know that you are still paying the referral fee to Amazon when you get the return. So if you have a shoe that you're getting back and you don't have good margins on it, you're going to lose and you're not going to notice it until you look at your numbers. If you look at your numbers. So if it's like $12 profit, that's not a good shoe buy. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yes, Clemenza 10 items for the update. Soccer.com is what
it's called soccer.com or ASOS. Both are going to work great.
Yep.
Soccer.com will say, like, you might get an invoice that says soccer.com. There's like a parent company with it too that you might get that you can send in as well. But the email works fine, or you can just log into the site and pull it.
Yep.
People buy CDs. You got some old radios, or I don't know, go camping where there's no internet. Ten to 15 different ones. Yeah, Lee, you need to source better. Like, jump into some of these Discord, talk to people on sourcing better. You'll learn a lot. It's really going to be the best way, or get into coaching of some sort. That's a good way too. If you're really struggling but you have capital.
I didn't get any more questions on my IG, and let's see here on YouTube.
Discord popping a little bit, but not. You need to see sourcing video from Sadiq. Deshaun says, do you have any sourcing videos?
Dude, no, that's what the first YouTube video for next week's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm about to do one of those as well, like probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably have that up, and then I'll have like I don't know if I could have back to school. I can still make one.
We should probably talk so all three of us don't source the same store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get like 2 up this week, and then a keep a video.
Yeah. I'll source Dylan's storefront. Dylan, you got Abe's.
Yeah, just hit my DMs. Ask for Sawyer's store. I'll give you $50. I'll give it to you. And
I'll give it to you for $49.
48. Please post all your Discord links.
Yeah, I need to drop my link.
Yeah, go. If you go to
person who asked already had it.
Yeah, if you go to my website that I posted there, the FBABasecamp.com, that'll get you to a login where you can get access to some documents. You can get the Discord link. You get Facebook link, whatever you want. You can click on that. They're all free. So, but instead of having to click each individual thing on like Gumroad and download 20 different windows, you can just get it all right there.
Comments, I would just say $15 profit per shoe. Just 35% ROI, $15 profit at least. Should be good.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I'm much higher. I'm like 20, 25 is where I'm starting to get into, but now I'm not finding as much stuff.
Camel, good for checking price history too, and it's free. Yeah, I've heard of that before.
People still use that? I didn't.
I feel like this is
so it's the same thing as like there's a paid version and there's a not paid version. But Camel was out, I think, before Keepa. They had a huge problem where they lost a bunch of data. Keepa didn't lose data, so everybody stopped using Camel, and started using Keepa. 3 Colts just bought Camel. So if you don't like 3 Colts or you think that's gonna be trash, don't use Camel.
Yeah, they got to be quick now.
Yeah.
Deep going full groove. That's one of my coaching guys, Mike. What's up, Mike?
Got you, Clemenza. Just paste Amazon URL into it. Yep.
You're gonna DM him on Instagram?
Yeah, just send my DMs anyone. You skip barcode numbers too.
Barcode numbers. Deshaun, are you in Sadiq's Discord? He is? Okay. PCs. All right. Well, I think we got pretty good here. 325 so far. So how many is that all Jimmy's bots?
Yeah. It's all Jimmy and Tony's bots.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap up here then, unless anyone's got any other interesting stuff.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Appreciate everybody jumping on. If you want to see anything else or want us to jump on more calls together, just shoot us all messages. It's pretty easy to get us to convince us to do this kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
100%.
Cool.
Thanks everyone for getting on.
Sounds good, guys.
All right, everybody.
Peace.
See you.